What is the Bible passage this week? Blessed are those who are pure in heart. For what? Blessed are those who are pure in heart. For what? For they shall see God. You get rid of that egotism, selfishness, and me first. You'll see loving others, and when you see love, you see God. What is the hymn? Hey folks, it's December 9th and we have snow on the ground, and Wendy and I are thrilled with that. I do not like winters without snow. How about yourself? And did you see that whopping commercial last night on Channel 6, CBS News? The vegan commercial to help the animals? Glendy was surrounded by fresh fruit. And the joke was, a man said, I think that blondes have better dispositions than brunettes or redheads. And his friend says, my wife's been all three. I don't see any difference. And the joke on Monday night, folks, was Marilyn said, last year I was miserable and depressed. But this year I turned that all around. This year I'm depressed and miserable. And I was surrounded then Monday night with strawberries. These commercials are on the 6:30 p.m. news, Channel 6, WRGV, Albany, New York, just before the CBS Evening News. Our Bible passage today, folks, is from the Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5. Blessed are they who are pure in heart, for they shall see God. Certainly. That's prima facie. If you're pure in heart, if you get rid of the ego and the selfishness and the immaturity, you get rid of all that clutter, and what else is there to see but God and God's greatness? Now, what is the hymn? The hymn is this. Holy, 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 helping others. Though the darkness hide thee. Darkness, what is that? Selfishness, egotism, me first. Through the eye of sinful flesh, thy glory we will see. What do you mean by sinful flesh? Selfishness, egotism, me first. What do you mean the glory we shall see? Through selfishness, egotism, me first, darkness, and sinful flesh, you will still see the glory of helping others. Only God is holy, only helping others is holy. There is none beside God, there is none beside helping others. Perfect in power, in love and purity. Our word today comes from Wayne Collins. It's arioso. It's a musical term. And that's you, musical Facebook, just told us we got a message on the harmonica. Arioso means what, folks? It means sing like a melody. Live your life like a melody. And now some jokes. Let's see some jokes. A man came home late at night, and he's sitting on the edge of the bed, and he's taking off his shoes, and he takes off his shoe and he lets it hit the floor, and then he says, oh my goodness, that's going to wake up the man downstairs. So he takes off his second shoe very, very quiet and puts it down on the floor very, very softly. 10 minutes, there's a knock on the door, and the man downstairs says, will you drop that other shoe so I can go to sleep? A minister wrote on the board, the blackboard, I pray for all. A doctor wrote on the blackboard, I prescribe for all. A lawyer wrote on the blackboard, I plead for all. And a citizen wrote on the blackboard, I pray for all. I learned something new yesterday, folks, that I don't blow my bubble gum while I'm wearing my mask. The doctor said I have bad news and very bad news. Well, what's the bad news? You have 2 days to live. What's the very bad news? I forgot to tell you yesterday. Well, now, folks, Pat came yesterday, and she worked a half an hour on the county burial, where the county is going to pay for Glendora's cremation. And then she worked a half an hour on the veterans, making out that 14-page form, and we think she's almost finished. We're not going to hurry it. We're going to work on it another half hour and a day or two. That's what my mom said. My mommy said, if you have a big job, you compart it. You work on it a half an hour a day. And then the third thing she did was to write an article to the Advertiser for the week of next week, the third week of September. And she didn't have to get any food because Wendy made me creamy mashed potatoes and broke up pieces of Morningstar Farms original grillers. Well, Wendy is doing great guns, folks, on the TV shows to go to the TV stations for February and March. You say, well, Glendora, this is December. Why are you working in February and March? Well, when you have 275 TV shows to do, you'd better start in December if you want to get them mailed by January. And so here's where she is. She's doing the disclaimers for Hudson and West Hartford. And Robert Jackson has sent the renewal form to Mr. Ed Whitney. He will make it out in paper form. He'll send it to Robert. Then Robert will get it onto his computer and send it to Cablevision Altice by computer. That's so mean that they did that they made us change everything around. And Gary Black, we haven't called him, but he just has 3 stations left. That would be Mary Taylor Hartford and Victor in Highland Park above Chicago, and David Keenan for Comcast in New Jersey. We're done and up to date. It's time to hear your jokes and to hear your laughter and your fun. And remember, we stay away from ourselves. We don't think about ourselves. We don't talk about ourselves. We put that energy into helping others. Did you like the pictures of the kitty cats?
Meow.
Helping others, you'll enjoy it. Satisfaction guaranteed. We got rid of the ego. Selfishness is not allowed. We want you to have it. Peace that passes understanding. Helping others, you'll enjoy it. Satisfaction guaranteed. Be ye therefore blameless and harmless as a child of God, without rebuke, in the midst of a wicked and perverse generation. Let your light shine before the world. I know we want to do that together. And we've been working on it for years. Did you enjoy the Pussycats? Aren't they grand creations? Oh, they are so beautiful. And .com Cat was with us with how many years? That's right, 15. She left us on April 17th in the year 2019. Who won yesterday? Who won the game? Egotism? Selfishness? Or it's nothing to sneeze at, folks. It's nothing to sneeze at. Who won yesterday? Egotism? Me first? Selfishness? Or loving others with all your heart, soul, and mind? Who won? What's the score? What is the Bible passage today, this week? Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And where does that come from? The Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5. And why is it true? Because if you're pure in heart, you got rid of that thinking of yourself and talking about yourself. And you replace it with what? Loving the whole world. Loving everybody. You stopped serving yourself. And you started serving the world. And you found out that love is God. And now you couldn't understand God before. It was too complex. But now you understand God because it's love. And we found out that God is one. God is all. God is only. God is good. And we found out how to depurate our thinking. No negative thoughts, second level, trivial, ugly. Just the beautiful thoughts of God's goodness.
The time is 9:37 a.m.
December 9th. No, Glendora. It's December 10th. The birthday of Gordon Howard Folsom. Happy birthday to you. I will call up your sons, Stephen and Scott, and we will sing happy birthday to you, Gordon. And you left us 3 years ago at age 90. And what's the hymn? Holy, 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 helping others. Lord God Almighty, helping others. Early in the morning our song shall rise to thee, helping others. Holy, 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 merciful and mighty. Glenn is merciful. She makes more mistakes than anybody. Mighty is helping others. God in all persons. Helping others is in all persons. Blessed charity, helping others. word. Now, our words aren't so pretty. Aggrieve, to be aggrieved, is to have your rights injured, your legal rights injured. That's to be aggrieved. Aggress is not very pretty. It's taking the first step in an altercation. Taking the first steps. That's what an aggressor is. Agitation. That's ugly. That's commotion. Do you know any other words that begin with AG? Agrarian. Why didn't we have that in the beginning? Of or pertaining to a field. And why was the scarecrow respected by all of his neighbors? He was outstanding in his field. Thank you, Google. What else begins with AG? Let's change all those for this word, admirable, having those qualities that excite wonder, united with approbation, deserving the utmost esteem. Do you know anybody who gets that? Yeah, you do. God. Got any jokes, Glennie? Well, let's see if we can disinter some jokes. Man who went to the library for the first time and got a library card. You mean with this little card I can take out any book I want? Yes. You mean with this little card I can take out any DVD that I want? Yes. You mean with this little card I can take out any let's see. What other things can you take out of a library? And then he said, with this little card I can take out any librarian? And the clerk says, no, the librarians are for reference use only. You heard about the young rookie minister? He delivered a stirring sermon on gossip. And then he said, the closing hymn will be, I love to tell the story. And one woman says, our minister says we shouldn't say anything good about anybody. We shouldn't say anything about anybody unless it is good. And boy, is this good. I learned something yesterday, folks. I learned something. You don't blow your bubble gum when you're wearing your face mask. Woman to the taxi cab driver. Cabby, how much do I owe you? He said, nothing, ma'am. You did all the driving. Our meditation is going to come from, this is our Father's world. Remember that. We have to remember that. It's our Father's world. Nobody else's. That's all there is. It's just God. It's God's world. Through the rustling grass I hear him pass. He speaks to me every word. This is our Father's world. We rest it in our thought. All rocks, all trees, all skies, all seas, his hands the wonders wrought. That's beautiful. The skies, the seas, the rocks, the trees, our beautiful rock, the earth. This is our Father's world. Oh, let me ne'er forget that though the wrong seems oft so strong, God is the ruler yet. He trusts us with his world to keep it clean and fair. All rocks, all trees, all skies, all seas, all creatures everywhere. This is our Father's world. He shines in all that's fair. Through the rustling grass I hear him pass. He speaks to us everywhere. This is our Father's world. Why should our hearts be sad? The Lord is King, let the heavens sing. God reigns, let the earth be glad. Is that a good pure thought for you all day today? God reigns, let the earth be glad. 2. God reigns, let the earth be glad. 3. God reigns, let the earth be glad. 4. God reigns, let the earth be glad. It was a lovely day yesterday, the 9th of December, 2020. Wendy enjoyed so much bringing you the pictures of the kitty cats. And then Wendy did the telephoning, some of it, up to about 20, I guess she did up to about 23. And I couldn't remember the list of calls I had to make, but one was Jackie Rickman, who's 96, and sent me a lovely Christmas card, and has a new doggie. Her other doggie went on to something greater. And we did the newest telephone calls, the newest people who have been added to our friendship pile. And we actually finished all of them, the first class and the second class telephone numbers. Now this is amazing. We finished the contact list. I think the contact list has 400 people on it. And we finished it. Yes, we called each one. Each one on this contact list. So, applause, 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 applause. That's a lot of love. Whom do you call? Well, many of them are the TV stations and make sure Chat with Glendora is being played every week. Well, many of them are people who need a telephone call. Nobody's talked to them or reached out to them. Others, I guess, are just the daily jobs that have to be done. and return calls. Sandy left at 2 o'clock with $100. Andrew and Sandy came, the Montessori school teachers, and they brought Glennie a great big vegan hamburger, a big pile of Brussels sprouts, and a pile of broiled potatoes. You cut them in quarters and you put them underneath the broiler for 15 minutes. And a lemon cookie made by one of her students. And we reviewed the year 2020 somewhat. I don't think they really got down into the beauty of the year. It was kind of superficial. So we'll do it again. Sandy did the think drawer number 1. Went through that and thought about the things that had to be done. Sent $100 to Atlanta People TV, Public Access TV, Atlanta, Georgia. And then David called, answering the ad in Craigslist. And David has had a lot of experience. He worked for Channel 10 here in the Albany area, and then he worked for CNN for a long time. And now he's back home, and he would like maybe a part-time assignment for a chat with Glendora. Our telephone call was aborted, so we'll have to do that all over again. And Wayne Collins reported that the vegan commercial to help the animals that was supposed to be on at 6:53 p.m. last night in the 6:30 p.m. news was not on. So we will call Channel 6 to see what happened. And they will give a make good. We finished 4 volumes of books by people who knew Mary Baker Eddy. And it's very interesting what she was like. That's a much better way to interview anybody than most of the magazine articles that are written about famous people. And now there's 2 new books. However, the essays in these new books are very much repeated from the essays in the 4 books that we read. We'll explore that today. Wayne and Glendora